Welcome back to another fun and exciting Gktech how-to. This is Officer Dan and crew coming at you with a fresh one. Our Z33 350z, Z34, and 370z short shifter kit. Now we will be installing this on our in-house Z's transmission. Shout out to old Switterhand Zach for the legendary box shimmy. Just look at that hot freestyle action, everyone. You won't see anything like that anywhere in the world. Upon opening, you will find parts. I know, weird, right? Starting with this little donut guy here, aka this spring spacer. This little dude in your OEM spring will be hanging out, but more on that later. Next, you get the top hat, which may or may not confirm another Half-Life game. Then you get the two lower bushings that press into the shifter itself. These suckers are made from Delrin. Why? Science, mostly. But they're a low-friction, high-wear material, so you can fast and furious those gears to the moon and back with no issues. Next is another insert bit that goes in between the others like a hot dog and a bun. Then you get some hardware that bolts the top plate down, which we will demo shortly. Last up is the hot rod itself, which will end up reducing shift throw by 33%, as well as being 30mm shorter in height. We've also added some weight up top to get that crispy shifter feel that you're all blowing the welds on the intake manifold to get to. Now these old Z gearboxes are starting to show some age, so this is an easy way to spruce that CD on up. You also get an assembly guide in case your 56K internet buffers this video for too long and you can't see more than the first 18 seconds. Moving right along to the install, and for the pleasure of your ocular spheres, we will be installing on the bench. The same guides apply while installing on the car, so pay attention. Step 1 is going to be to remove the knob by spinning it the opposite direction a clock travels. Then pop the dust boot off and move it out of the way for now. Now is the time to see any slop that may or may not exist while you are double clutching like you should. Now that Toretto's given you an approving nod, pop the lower boot down and get it out of the way, exposing that bolt down there. Then grab a wrench and loosen the top 3 bolts as shown. Get that plate up and out of the way, but don't bend that sucker just yet. We will be using it later. Loosen and remove the lower shift lever bolt, then shimmy the entire thing up and out of the way, not forgetting to grab the spring and placing it somewhere safe. Once removed, we will need to press the shifter out, and the easiest way to do that without destroying it with a hammer is a press. Place it in the press as shown and press the lever out of the OEM cup. Now grab some good old-fashioned lube, aka grease, and dollop a loving spoonful on there, spreading that ish around the inside like it owes you money. Now flip the cup the opposite way you had it on the plates and slip the new lever through, then press the shifter into the cup. Now this doesn't take much to press in, and depending on how much pre-worky you just smashed, you may be able to manhandle it in there. Hence, no protections on the thread up top. Just please don't use a hammer. You will break stuff. Now that it's in, it's time to pop in those bushings on each side. Now toss the hot dog down the hallway and pop the longer bushing into said hole. That stick shift is one closer step to being blasted into 7th gear. Now ring toss the donut into the shifter bracket, and then gingerly place the spring on top. Grab your rod assembly and press that down, lining up the hole at the bottom with the clevis, and pop the bolt through to hold it all in place. I'm pretty sure all of you know what's next. That's correct. Tighten that bolt, then go ahead and torque it to the specs shown right here on this very screen. Now head back up and loosen and remove the shift boot holder bolt, then slide that out of the way. Now grab that top hat thing and gander inside. You will notice a notch in the outside ring. You will also notice this notch filling area on the OEM cup. Hey, you guessed it, line these up together. Slide it down on top of the cup, grab the plate I told you not to pin earlier, and press Earthang down. Now pop the 3 new bolts we provided on into their hole. Get those suckers hand tight as we now need to adjust the reverse lockout bar on that plate. Move the shifter into 6th gear. This will be as far right as it should go, and you can see the plate move just a little once contact is made with the pin. This is what we want. Once here, tighten the right side bolt down a bit, then pop the shifter into 5th gear. This tells us that the plate is aligned correctly, and you can go ahead and tighten that top bolt down. Now go ahead and tighten that lonely boy on the left, and give your reverse a testy test. Since you followed the directions to a T, you won't have any issues, and be thankful for that, as you do not want to shift into reverse from 5th gear. Once all good, torque all 3 of the bolts down to the specs shown right here on the screen. Go ahead and slide the rubber boot back over the top, then slip the retainer over the top of that, grabbing a wrench and tightening the grub screw to the torque specs also shown on the screen. Now slip that lower boot back up into its home, and finally, go ahead and thread on that hot, fresh new Gktech knob you also purchased in a regular clock spinning motion. You can now row your gears 33.333% repeating of course, faster everywhere you go. Think of the time saved here, people. 100% Leroy Jenkins approved. The guys shown in this montage have collectively shifted over 9,000 times, which means absolutely nothing but sounded cool on paper. If you can't install this, have a pro do it or reach out to us with any questions. This has been Officer Dan, Johnny Caps, Josh, and Zach, who did catch a premium before Race Wars. Peace.